And a developing story, this Domino's pizza store in Denver, the last place a father and part-time delivery driver was seen alive. Family now left grieving for Nate Leon, and police are hunting for a killer with few clues to go on. The location of the store and where Nate's body was discovered about 20 miles apart. And 7 News reporter Mark Stewart is live at the store. And Mark, Nate's family tells you this was a second job for him.
A second part-time job and here at this Domino's for the last 7 years or so. A way to make money, extra money for his young and growing family. Tonight, when I talked to DPD just before 9 o'clock tonight, they told me they're still looking for leads. This case is wide open.
Yes, hi, my name is Danielle Keikoa, and I have several pieces of information regarding quite a few crimes that are going on, and I just need to speak with someone that has some time to listen to what I have to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm calling with the latest crime regarding young Nate Leon, who was just shot and killed delivering pizzas. And I have been screaming bloody murder since at least last July about a serial killer here in Arvada. His name is Robert ADOLPH ENYART, and 6 police jurisdictions are aware of our suspicions of him. He's connected to the Jessica Ridgeway case, the Dylan Redwine case. I'm sorry?
Robert ADOLPH
ENYART, ENYART.
Okay, you got a name or an age or date of birth for him?
Yes, I sure do. It's 1/10/59.
Okay.
I have his FBI number and other information, if that would be helpful.
I'm sure I can find him if
Yes, he's a convicted child abuser, and the FBI should already be aware of this. He's wanted for murder in Boulder from 16 years ago, and he's under investigation right now for that. And he is throwing a hissy fit right now, and he is the one responsible for Annie Myers, for Dylan Redwine, for Jessica Ridgeway, and he's using a lot of little patsies, little gamers, little online trolls to do his little assassinations, if you will. And he's had this planned out for decades, and he's been getting away with murder for some time, and we made him aware of our intentions to expose him right before October. Actually, in September, we wrote him a reverse ransom note, letting him know our intentions, and he organized Jessica Ridgeway's abduction, and all hell has broken loose since then with a series of arson, hit-and-run accidents, stabbings, obviously abductions of children and adults, male, female. He knows no bounds, and now he's shooting people at random, having it organized. And we're just wondering what else needs to be done for the police to at least go question him, because he has a lot of people working with him as well. One of the names is Doug McBurney. I don't know his date of birth, but another woman,
How do you spell his last name?
McBurney. I'll also let you know that Bob Enyart is what he goes by. He is a pastor in Arvada at Denver Bible Church, and he's using it as a cover. He's a pro-life pastor, and he's using it as a cover to be above suspicion so he can get away with murder. And his church is located off of 72nd and Oak Street. And he lives off of 64th and Ward, which is right in between where the body was dropped and the pizza place was. And there's so many connections. I can talk for hours, but I want to try to give you as much helpful information to act on this as soon as possible before more people show up dead.
Okay, how do you know specifically that he did this murder?
I don't know specifically that he I don't think he specifically pulled the trigger, but I do know that he is organizing a whole epidemic of crime right here in the Denver area, and I'm communicating with him almost on a daily basis, anonymously. He runs on the internet. He has hundreds of fake identities and just as many pages, and he has lots of recruits in his shadow government that he has, and he targets people on Facebook, and he targets people who are vulnerable, who are putting all their personal information out there, and it's very easy. And he's on 7 News talking about what he does is he organizes crimes, and then he goes online and talks about it, and he either puts out clues to the investigation that only the killer would know, or he purposely misdirects the investigation to throw people off. And one of his conspirators' name is Kimberly K. Bowman, and her birth date is 10/26/64, and she's been in the news for exploiting Jessica Ridgeway and Dylan Redwine because she's been responsible for making disinfo pages about them, and she's stolen over $30,000 from the Ridgeway family by exploiting her. And so they're highly sophisticated in what they do. They're very organized. They're very, very professional. They obviously can make people vanish into thin air. They make crimes look bizarre and random. And then if at all possible, they target dysfunctional families to point fingers at the parents, like in the Dylan Redwine and the JonBenet Ramsey murder case, for instance. And
all right, what's the motive?
The motive is he's a religious psychopath. And the motive is he tried to take our children in 2011 by conspiring with members of Personhood USA, Keith and Jennifer Mason, and also members of his church to make multiple false reports of child abuse to social services. When that failed, we began to expose them. And they continue to try to have our children. We have 6 children. They continue to try to have our children taken away. And we were wondering what kind of Christian pro-life organization is doing this. And so we began doing our own research. We purchased court documents, and we took an entire year and dug into the criminal backgrounds of the individuals within the church. And we discovered that they are murderers. And we placed them at the scene of the crime at the JonBenet Ramsey murder in 1996. And we have returned all this information into the police. Stan Garnett is aware of this, the district attorney, and we told him, Bob Enyart, we wrote a reverse ransom note, told him our intentions to turn himself in, to withdraw himself from positions of leadership, and to turn himself in. We know what he's done. If he doesn't, that we're dumping all of his documents online for everybody to see. And so he's freaking out. He's throwing a hissy fit, and he wants to kill and take as many people down as possible. He believes he's an agent of Satan, so this is a satanic cult where they dismember, where they cut people up, they rape, they're serial rapists, they're arsonists, they do everything evil under the sun. And it would sound crazy if there wasn't any crime going on here in Denver, but we have a lot of unexplained crime going on here in Denver, and they're responsible for it. And so the motive is they're crazy, they're psychopaths, and they have a mission. Their perverse mission is to judge rightly, and they believe that the godless government does not execute people according to God's law, the Mosaic Code, and so they're taking it upon themselves to wreak havoc and to assassinate people. And Bob Enyart's a convicted child abuser and a known adulterer, and he's probably responsible for the hookers that were showed up dead in the 80s, because he used to talk about hookers a lot. And so he preaches in hypocrisy. He has a radio show that will be on Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. 6. Okay.
All right, can I get a name and a phone number, and we'll have somebody call you back?
Yes, my name is Danielle.
Okay.
Last name is Kekoa, Kekoa.
Okay.
The number you can reach me at is 720-443-3264. Or you can call this number I'm calling from. I'm not exactly sure what number it is, though.
I'll just use that one.
Okay.
All right. I'll get this to the detectives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Today we'll be talking about the death penalty.
Christian radio broadcaster Bob Enyart believes repealing the death penalty could lead to even more violence.
Jail is like timeout for adults. In jail, you play basketball, foosball, you gamble, you watch virtual pornography on TV. Jail is a joke.
Right now in Colorado, after the head of the state's prison system was shot and killed at his home overnight, the gunman rang the doorbell and shot Tom Clements when he came to the door. Clements was executive director of the state's corrections department. Police have not identified a suspect.
I think we know the who, we know the individual, and so we know at least one aspect, but we do not know why. We don't know who participated with him. We don't know who financed him. We don't know who supported him in his planning. It is very difficult for me to believe that he planned and orchestrated and financed this act himself. I heard that he had a list of individuals and that Tom was on that list. And I am so grateful that he wasn't able to carry out, you know, any of the rest of the names on the list.
Jail is a joke.